The Omnitrix has displayed as many colors as the rainbow, and every time that we have seen one or the other, it has had a different meaning or function for the watch. But what do they all mean? Let's explore the spectrum of the Omnitrix and see what each color that flashes on the Galvan symbol of peace means for the user. Firstly, subscribe. Let's start with the most popular mode on the Omnitrix, which is the active mode. The first time we ever saw this is when the Omnitrix pod opened in the very first episode of Ben 10, which is And Then There Were 10. This is represented by a glowing green color on the symbol of the Omnitrix. This in turn gives the user access to the alien playlist and the option of alien selection, whether via icons or holograms, meaning that you are able to finally go hero. However, there's one thing that most of us don't know about the active mode, and it's the fact that it isn't always green. Firstly, let me break this down for you. Every single time that we've seen an alternate Omnitrix, each alternate Ben has had a different color that marks the active mode for their respective watch, as we have seen these colors for active Omnitrix use throughout the multiverse. Omniverse, whatever. The colors that we've seen so far are green, blue, orange, gray, purple, and even red. These are all mostly aesthetic color changes though, for alternate Bens, Gwens, and even Albedo. But they are all colors of an active mode for the Omnitrix itself. We move to the opposite mode of the active mode, which is the recharge mode, which carries the color red. The first time we saw this mode was in the first episode of the show, and it comes in two stages. Firstly, the timeout sequence, where the watch beeps a sound that no 10-year-old kid actually wants to hear, with a red coloring, and it then reverts the transformation. No! Turning the user back to their initial natural born state. And then we have the recharge mode itself, where the watch itself glows red, which is to show that the watch is depleted of power and needs to recharge, sort of like a low power mode on an iPhone. This recharge mode though can be overridden in dire times of danger where Ben's life is threatened. Take both moments where you can see where he's timed out against Ghost Freak or Kevin 11. However, this is not the only time when the watch flashes red. It also does this for the Ultimatrix when the user is near deadly radiation. We see this in the episode Too Hot to Handle, where Ben has his first interaction with the alien Pandor, a Perpetuous B, after he was released from his suit. He is living energy and likes to sing this song specifically. After being transformed into Water Hazard, upon approaching Pandor, the watch beeped and showed a red color, as the Omnitrix picked up these unsafe levels of radiation. I think this is the same thing for the plumber's badges as well, so it might just be a feature that these devices just have as a safety precaution. The scan or collection mode glows yellow under normal circumstances. The first time we saw this mode be accessed was in the episode Ben Wolf, where Ben unlocked the Laboan species, or more affectionately known as the Yenaldoshi. This would enable the user to collect a new DNA sample by scanning it. We can see where this is used throughout the whole Honor saga, which was season 3, I think, along with the saga of the Andromeda aliens, as it was used to collect the newer DNA samples and give Ben access to them as transformations. The orange color is representative of the self-destruct mode. The watch is still able to be used though, but that only accelerates the self-destruct mode, even having a discharge of large waves of orange energy, which I really hope is not radiation. The first time we encountered this was in the movie Ben 10 Secret of the Omnitrix. 10 out of 10 movie, by the way. I suggest all of you guys, if you haven't watched it, you need to go watch it. However, the self-destruct mode shows up green in the final episode of Alien Force, The Final Battle. Maybe because of the short span it took to blow up, could also be a recalibration display difference, I'm not sure. The blue mode of the Omnitrix though is one that we've only seen once, and that is for the recalibration mode. This is where the watch levels up or updates for the user. It is briefly deactivated and undergoes a transformation, coming with not only a new playlist but new user interface functions as well, and we've only encountered this in the episode Ben 10 Returns, at the beginning of Alien Force. The purple mode now has a few ways of being interpreted. The wiki says that it signifies a risk of temporal threat, which makes sense as this color only shows up when Eon is present. In Ultimate Alien, it manifested as a way of anchoring Eon to a specific timeline through the hands of Armageddon, knocking out both Ben Tennysons. This is then followed up by the Race Against Time version of the purple colored Omnitrix, where Eon used it as a mean of accessing his own transformation in the Race Against Time watch, which gave Ben the ability to become a Cronian. This ultimately corrupted his mind and forced him to open up the portal for the Cronians through the hands of Armageddon so that they could be able to invade Earth. I personally have a lot of mixed feelings about the Cronian transformation in itself, or even the accessing of the purple mode of the Omnitrix, which gives Ben the ability to become the literal Time Walker and the literal opposite of Paradox. It is probably one of the most overpowered transformations that Ben will probably have access to in the entire Omnitrix, depending on how well Ben maneuvers it. I definitely don't think this should have been retconned though. Saying that Eon is a Cronian and saying he's an alternate version of Ben is actually a lot more interesting. There's just a lot more room to explore as regards to what the Cronian race in itself is actually about, and knowing that the Omnitrix has to completely change color to access this transformation has to be like a clear demonstration that this transformation is otherworldly. The black color of the Omnitrix is pretty uncommon, and we've only ever seen this once in the Ultimatrix, in the episode The Ultimate Sacrifice. This is where Azimuth removed the watch from Ben in order to repair it, as it had started giving him manic episodes through his ultimates. This resulted in Azimuth freeing the sentient ultimate aliens. However, he had to completely deactivate the Ultimatrix in order to do so, assumedly severing his connection to Primus in order to fix such a problem, which, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. It would probably be a thing that would spread and cause more aliens to become sentient, and that would certainly not end well because all of them seem to be like super homicidal and want to kill Ben. The pink color though, this is representative of the watch being under a spell, more specifically being contaminated by mana. This is explored in the movie Ben 10 Destroy All Aliens, where Gwen uses a dismantling spell on Ben while he's in his mechamorph form and attached to a huge robot. This contamination caused Ben to kinda lose control of the watch, unknowingly zapping people and turning them into aliens, which is what actually happened to Azimuth, transforming him into a rabid Toku star, and also turning his parents into aliens. The grey symbol on the Omnitrix signifies deactivation. We have seen this dial go grey when Azimuth removed the core of the watch from Ben in the movie Ben 10 Secret of the Omnitrix. And finally, the white symbol on the Omnitrix has potentially 3 meanings. I have my own headcanon, as I believe that it means that the watch is incomplete, hence emphasizing on the nature of it being a prototype. However, 2 crew members have actually given their own take on why the watch has a white symbol. Dwayne McDuffie believed that the white symbol of the watch was because the watch was malfunctioning, which would make a lot of sense based on the nature of how the prototype acts. However, Derek J. Wyatt believes that it was simply a scratch guard on the watch, which Ben had to remove in order for the green symbol to show. And I guess that's kind of followed up by the Omniverse flashbacks where the watch symbol is actually green, assuming that he removed the scratch guard before he took the watch off, so yeah. I'm leaning more towards what Dwayne said, but what do you guys think is the reason why upon transformation for the prototype Omnitrix, the symbol is white? Comment that down below. But these are the Omnitrix colors that are out there, and hopefully I didn't miss any. And of course, my favorite color is red.